Hello friends, today we're going to be jumping right back into our SlimeFun tutorial series. Today we finally get to cover automatic dust generation. But before we begin, I just want to thank all of you who have subscribed. Every time someone does, YouTube gives me a notification about it and it just makes my day. So if you could please consider checking to see if you're subscribed, it would mean the world to me. It's completely free, it only takes 2 seconds, and if you want to unsubscribe later, it's totally okay. Thank you all so much for helping to change my life one sub at a time. Alright, so today we're going to start with planning the system and then setting up the machines, then setting up energy, and finally hooking it all up with cargo management. I've made sure that all the process from cobble to dust is as efficient as possible with these amounts of machines. So if you want to scale up, then you can multiply the number of all parts of the system by any amount. But this design has the smallest inefficiency possible between panning and washing, with about 3% extra gravel produced. That being said, this design without scaling up produces 1 dust per second, which is around 15 stacks of each dust per 24 hours of activity. Automatic dust generation is a system best organized into phases. Phase 1, automate getting cobble. Phase 2, automate grinding cobble into gravel. Phase 3, automate panning gravel into sifted ore and store or trash byproducts. Phase 4, automate washing sifted ore into dust. And Phase 5, storing and sorting the resulting dusts. In episode 10, we learned how to automate cobblestone generation with androids, and in episode 9.5, we learned how to most effectively fuel them. With 2 additional chests, this completes our phase 1 as we have 5 androids and 8 auto kelp farms. For phase 2, we're going to want 12 tier 1 electric ore grinders, as tier 2 is too expensive for us right now, requiring blistering ingots and 2 chests. For phase 3, we're going to want 3 tier 2 electric gold panners and 4 chests. For phase 4, we're going to want 2 tier 2 electric dust washers and 2 chests. For phase 5, we're going to want at least 9 chests, but I recommend 27 chests and 18 hoppers. That means, in total for machines, we need 37 chests, 18 hoppers, 5 minor androids with 5 cobblestone generators, 8 better auto kelp farms, 12 tier 1 electric ore grinders, 3 tier 2 electric gold panners, and 2 tier 2 electric dust washers. This is the total materials required for your 5 minor androids. This is 10 diamond pickaxes, 10 electric motors, 5 chests, 5 android memory cores, 5 coal generators of tier 1 variety, and 25 plastic sheets. If you're not clear on how to do plastic sheets, we're going to be covering them in the episode after next. And this is the total materials required for all of your SlimeFun machines. And all of these are regular diamond pickaxes. You're going to need a total of 12 of them. Don't forget that in addition, you're also going to need at least 1 tier 3 electric furnace to cook the kelp for the androids. Now, all of these machines together, including the furnace, requires 90 joules per second. We can't feasibly keep coal generators running 24/7. We don't yet have enough infrastructure to support automatic nuclear power, so we're left with only a few options. A lava generator system would require even more androids, but we want our resources focused on this right now. Combustion isn't practical for long-term automation. Magnesium-based power is best used as an additive power source after you already have your dust generator, leaving our last option, you guessed it, solar power. Here's where you're going to have to do a bit of grinding. You have 2 choices. Option 1 is to make a heated pressure chamber. Use your coal generators to power it. Get 4 nether stars, 4 carbonado, and 4 uranium to make 4 blistering ingots. Get around 18 stacks of quartz blocks, some more carbonado, etc., so that you can make an energized solar generator. This alone would solve the issue of power and leave a good bit of wiggle room. Here's our energized solar generator, and we can see the crafting recipe for it inside. The second option is to make 12 advanced solar generators and either 2 carbonado edged capacitors or 1 energized energy capacitor, which is actually a new energy capacitor added in the most recent update, so that the 192 joules per second can function throughout the night. I highly recommend just making the energized solar generator. In case you have any confusion about how to make blistering ingots, which are right here, my very next video is going to cover it, uranium, and all things radioactive, but it's definitely going to be the more effective option. So for an energized solar generator, we need these materials. Now, I know this is quite a bit, but it's definitely going to be worth it for you in the long run. All these along a line are all the same thing, so don't worry about that. And we're also going to need 16 redstone dust and an electromagnet. In addition, we're going to need an energy regulator and 10 energy connectors. For cargo, we're going to need 2 cargo managers, 40 cargo connectors, 47 cargo input nodes, and 38 cargo output nodes. Overall, we'll need a space of 24 by 31 by 16 blocks for the complete production line. To begin, we set up our 8 better auto kelp farms in this 21 by 17 by 16 block region. And remember, this is going to be a 2 by 2 by 2 cell design, totaling 8 farms. We set up our chests just like normal on the front sides of each of the cells so that we'll be able to run our cargo system through all of them to collect all of the kelp. Then we're going to take this 1 by 7 area right here, and we're going to place a double chest here, the electric furnace here, a double chest here, and another double chest right here. Now we're going to take this 6 by 10 area and use this to set up our 5 miner androids. So let's start by placing a piece of glass here. It doesn't have to be glass, it can be any building block. And we're going to go ahead and extend this the full 10 blocks. Now we can place our miner androids facing this way every other block. We're going to place some temporary blocks on either side of the miner androids. We're going to place our fuel interfaces on the right of each android from the perspective of the android, and our item interfaces on the left of each android. Now that they're in place, we can go ahead and remove the fuel side of unnecessary blocks, but we're going to go ahead and keep the item side. So now we're just going to place a block here, 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 and here, and here, so that we have these nice little holes that our water can flow into. And we're just going to place some blocks like this. All right, now that we've got this back wall, these blocks down here to prevent the flow of water, and these dividers, which I forgot to place, we can go ahead and place our front side. So this is going to take up a little bit more space, but that's all right. So we're going to place that there, that there, that there, and just fill that out. Now on this side, all we're going to have to do is place a block on each of those spaces, and then go ahead and place a block on the other side. So now we have a back wall for our lava. Now we can go ahead and place our water buckets in each of these spots on the left side, and our lava buckets on the opposite side. And just like that, we have 5 cobble generators in a very nice, efficient little pattern. So since we're saving our cargo management hookups for the end, we're all done with this part. Now we're going to go ahead and move on with where we're storing our cobble. All we have to do is place a double chest right here. This is a 1 by 2 if you didn't know. Now we can go ahead and place our 12 electric ore grinders. So we're going to want to place this in line with the front of our auto kelp farm, and it's going to be a 1 by 6. And we can just leave 1 block here to make it look nice. We're just going to stack them on 2 so that we have 2 by 6, which is 12. Now we're going to take our 3 electric gold pans and place them right here. We're going to leave 3 blocks of space so that if we ever scale up, it'll be easier for us to place some scaffolding here so we can access those higher ones. And do be sure to leave room in between the gold pans, as that will actually matter for us. Now we can go ahead and place our tier 2 electric dust washers right here and here, not to be confused with the blue stained glass underneath. Now these don't actually have to have space in between them, but for scaling up purposes, it's nice to space them out so that if we ever do want to fill it in, if we have a lot more later, it'll make things a little bit more efficient. Finally, we're going to want to put a double chest here, and another double chest on top of that. And last but not least, our sorting. We're going to take this 3 by 9 area right here. We're just going to start by placing double chests right along here, facing this direction. Now we can go ahead and place hoppers along the backs of them. This is just a simple chest storage strategy, and we're going to do the exact same thing and reverse it as many times as we like. And finally, we have our 3rd layer. Now do be aware that scaling up the storage after the fact is a bit of a pain, as you need to reset all of the cargo nodes afterwards, because they need to be put on the top layer since hoppers go downwards. So I suggest making it at least with 3 to begin with, so you have a little bit of space later to play with. Also, you of course can expand downwards, but for some locations that's not always an option. All right, now we have all of our machines in place. Now we can go ahead and get started with energy. So we start with energy by placing our energy regulator right here. Now you can place it anywhere where the energy connectors are, or if you have another energy connector elsewhere that you want to add this circuit to, you can always just connect it with energy connectors and replace this with an energy connector. Now we're just going to place an energy connector right here so that we can have power to our gold panners. Another energy connector here and another one on top so we can power all of our ore grinders. And now we just need to run energy connectors all the way down to our electric furnace, so we can just place an extra one here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't want to place one in front of the chest for cargo, so let's place it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that's gonna get in the way, so we can just place it right here and right here. And now all of our energy using machines are connected via our energy connectors. It doesn't matter where our generators are as long as they're producing energy and are connected to the circuit. So if we went ahead and made our energized solar generator, we can go ahead and place that anywhere where we have access to the sun, so say right here. And as you can see, the number is quickly rising as the energized solar generator easily produces enough to power all of these machines both during the day and during the night. That and none of these machines are running right now. All right, so we're all done with energy. Finally, all we have left is cargo. Once we plug in our cargo, this thing will be producing dust already, so let's get to it. So we're going to want to start by placing our first cargo manager right over here. Now we're just going to place another one right here. And another right here. So now that we're just going to want to hook up all of our bottommost kelp chests, as I showed you in episode 9.5, to our system via input nodes. So we're going to do that like this, and then move 6 blocks away from our connector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll place one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have enough room to place it right here. So we can go ahead and place another cargo connector 6 blocks up and then place an input node right here. We're going to want to do the same thing to the ones on the back. So on the second 4. Now that we have those nodes in place, we're going to want to place an output node right here. So small mistake, we actually can't have this energy connector right here. We're just going to go ahead and place one right here and then another one right here. Now we're just going to place an input node right here, an output in the back, and an input in the front. An output and input. Now you're going to want to make sure to place a cargo connector so that you can make sure this stays connected. Right in between these two chests is where we're going to have our one piece of manual activity where we're turning those dried kelp into dried kelp blocks. So if we want to, we can go ahead and take a crafting table and put it right here. Now to connect our androids to our cargo, we're going to want to place our cargo systems along this side since we don't want to get it mixed up with our separate cargo system that's going to be our automatic dust generation. So we're going to go ahead and place a connector right here and then place one right there. Now we can add temporary blocks to the backs of each of our fuel interfaces and place cargo connectors on them. Now we can go ahead and remove those temporary blocks, and we're going to want to place outputs on each one. On our items side, what we're going to do is we're going to take away these temporary blocks and put inputs on them. Finally, all we need to do is take one cargo connector here and move it along to right here. Now this has a 6 block range, so we're going to be looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And since it doesn't work outside of its axes, we can safely know that our other cargo system is going to be unaffected. So we're just going to place an output right here. Now to set all of the parameters. On all of our inputs on our kelp cells, we're just going to set it to whitelist on channel 1 and put our kelp inside. Then we're going to make sure that our first output node is set on channel 1. Now we do the same thing with our next cargo node. Go ahead and set it to channel 2 and put our kelp in. The reason we can't have these on the same channel is because of a SlimeFun bug that causes the erasure of items when there is a machine that both inputs and outputs on the same channel with the same items. And we're going to go ahead and set our electric furnace output to channel 2, set our input on the electric furnace to channel 3, whitelisting dried kelp, and setting this chest to channel 3. Now all of our dried kelp is going to go right in here. Next, we're going to want to take our input cargo node right here and whitelist dried kelp blocks on channel 5. And now we set all of our fuel side outputs to channel 5. On our item side outputs on the left side, we're going to want to set all of those to channel 6 and place inside a cobblestone for our whitelist. Last but not least, we're going to want to take our cargo node on our cobblestone storage chest and set that to channel 6 as well. All right, now our first cargo system is complete. So that we don't get all of those flashing lights, we're going to go ahead and turn off this cargo net visualizer. Another minor edit, we're going to want to remove this energy connector and instead place one right here and right here. Now we're going to want to place our second cargo manager right in this corner. We'll need to place a connector on top of it and 2 more connectors on the other side, a connector here, a connector here. We're going to want to go 6 blocks this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and place one right here, and one right here. Now this is a bit inefficient, but it makes things run a lot more smoothly in the long run when you're scaling up, so I think it's worth it. Next, just place a cargo connector right here and right here on either side of the washers. Now we're going to go ahead and place another cargo node right here, right next to our final one, next to our gold panners, and place one on top of each of these. We're also going to want to place one more on top of this one and on top of this one. Now I know this looks kind of convoluted, but it's because of our sorting mechanism is not going to be using advanced cargo outputs. Since they are really expensive to make, and since we need to make 9 of them, it would be absolutely ridiculous for me to ask you to make 9 of those. So we're going to use the entire thing without touching any advanced output cargo nodes. Now all we have to do is place a cargo connector right here and right here. Finally, we're also going to need to place one right here, right here, right here, and then 2 up. Now we're going to want to place an input right here on this chest and outputs on each one of these electric ore grinders. We're also going to want inputs on each one of these electric ore grinders. We're going to want a cargo output on each one of the backs of the electric ore grinders, as well as an input on the fronts and an input on the sides. Now this is how we're going to dispose of our waste. If you truly want to dispose of all the flint, clay balls, and iron nuggets that your system produces, you can go ahead and use a trash can found in the cargo management section of your SlimeFun guide. It's really cheap to make, and it'll destroy anything your cargo management sends to it. Personally, as I've said before, I prefer storing them in chests, so I'm going to go ahead and make a few large chest systems that we can dispose of all of that in. So if you're like me and you want to dispose of it, just go ahead and put 2 chests right there, or more or less, it doesn't really matter. Make sure that you're connected to your cargo system and place outputs on the back of each. Now we're going to place outputs on the back of each of our ore washers and inputs on the fronts. We're going to want to place an output here and an output here. Now we're going to place 5 input nodes on each of the chests, so all the way around. And our cargo nodes have made sure that all of them in this weird formation are connected. Finally, we can place 1 cargo output node on each of the back of our topmost storage chests. Now, time to configure all of this. So to start off, we're going to set our first cargo input node on the cobblestone storage chest and set that to channel 1 whitelisting and turn on round robining. So we have all of these on channel 1. So we're just going to make sure that we set all of these to channel 1. They're going to be set there by default, but I always prefer just opening and checking. It also just makes sure they're actually activated within the plugin. Next, we're going to go to the front of our electric ore grinders to our input nodes and set our channel to channel 2, turn on round robin mode, and put gravel in each one. Next, we're going to want to go to our electric gold panners and turn these on channel 2. And on our input nodes for our waste products, let's go ahead and set those to channel 3. Now, we're going to want to put in 1 flint, 1 clay ball, and 1 iron nugget in each of these side input nodes on channel 3. Now, for these, you can also blacklist it towards gravel and sifted ore, but I prefer just using whitelisting since it's very straightforward if you have all of your machines on the same settings. Now, we're going to set these to channel 3. so that they store our waste correctly. Next, we're going to go to the fronts of our electric gold panners and set those input nodes to channel 4, set those to round robin mode on, and to our ore washers, making sure those output nodes are set to channel 4. Finally, you're going to want to have a good bit of each of your dust types and go to the front of your dust washers. So we're going to set these to channel 5 and place inside one of every type of dust. Now, fortunately, there are 9 slots and 9 dust types. This is absolutely not by accident, and we're going to go ahead and place all of those in there. Now, with the topmost chest, we're going to want to place this on channel 5 for the output. Now, that means all of our dust types are going to go into the top chest. On our topmost chest, we're going to be sending out our 4 dust types that are not white and our white dust types to our bottom chest, in which all 5 will be sorted out to all of our groups. So to make it as clean as possible, we're going to go ahead and start with this backside one. Set this to channel 6. Now, before putting any dust in, I like to set them all to what they're supposed to be so that we don't have any mixing up in the chests as things get sent when we're halfway done. So we're going to set this one to channel 7, channel 8, this one to channel 9, and this one on the side to channel 10. Now, with our output node down here, we're going to want to set this one also to channel 10, and then this one to 11, this one to 12, this one to 13, this one to 14, and finally this one to 15. Now, as we started with 6, went 6, 7, 8, 9, we don't want to use 10, and we're going to use 11 through 15 for all of our chests. So we're going to start with this side, set this to 6, and just move along 7, 8, 9, skip 10 to go to 11, 12, 13, 14, and finally 15. So what we're going to do with these inputs is we're going to go ahead and put 1 copper in our number 6, 1 gold in our number 7, 1 iron in our number 8, and 1 lead in our number 9. Now, in our number 10, we're going to want to place 1 of each type of white dust. Now, all of the white dusts are going to circulate to the bottom, and we can go ahead and place 1 of each different type in each of the bottom ones. It doesn't really matter which order you do it in, as long as they are all different types. All right, so there's only one more incredibly important thing you do, and that is to pat yourself on the back because you have just completed making an automatic dust generation farm. This thing produces so much dust, and it is really, really cheap to make. The only expensive part is power, but that is the way SlimeFun works. The expensive part is generally always going to be power. Assuming you've already set your miner androids to start mining, and if you need a mining script, you can just watch my Android automation video right here, which is going to show you a sample script as well as other types of androids. You can go ahead and skip ahead in that video if you need to see the Android script, which is going to be towards the end of the video for the miner android. But assuming that you've started them already, you're going to already start to see cobblestone moving through the system, becoming dust, and being sorted out to your chests. What I suggest doing is setting item frames to the tops of each of these chests and putting in them 1 of each type of the dust that's stored in the vertical chest so that you can easily get them when you need them. But as of now, you are completely done with your dust factory. Scaling up is so much easier than trying to start fresh, so congratulations on making it this far. You've done a big, big thing, and take a break, go walk or something, or look outside, or I don't know, watch a video. Watch my Who's Your Daddy video right here. It's kind of funny. Yeah, just do something else. Give your mind a break because this is incredibly tedious. I hope I broke it down in a way that makes it a little bit easier for you guys. That's all I can really hope for. I remember when I was doing this, it took an incredibly long time to find the most efficient methods and stuff. So I hope that this kind of eases the pain of getting into SlimeFun. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you found it helpful, please subscribe. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it helps me out a ton. Also, I know that for a lot of you, this was the kind of final piece that you were looking for SlimeFun. So to those of you who don't wish to go any further in SlimeFun, and this is kind of the end point of where you're going, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the future, hopefully. It's been a pleasure being able to provide you guys with videos, and I really, really appreciate your guys' support. Now, this doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. I'm still going to be producing SlimeFun content. I'm still going to be producing other types of content. If you have any type of content, SlimeFun or otherwise, that you would like to see, a tutorial or a gameplay or comedy stuff, it doesn't really matter. Just leave it in the comment section. I appreciate all ideas. I'm just really happy that I finally get to show you guys cool stuff. Anyways, thank you so much, and I will see you all next time.